Greetings, my white brothers and sisters. You're tuned in to the Blue Tunic Trumpet. I'm your boy Blue, and I promise, for at least some time, this is the last reaction video that I'm going to do. Now, again, the only reason I did these reaction videos is because the content of the things I'm reacting to was so utterly and blatantly anti-white that it required just an immediate response, as best as I could do it in my own limited capacity as a reactioneer, if you will. So we looked at the upcoming Netflix series Dear White People, based off of the film Dear White People. We looked at the upcoming movie Get Out. And so in this show, we're going to look at a music video called White Man by singer-songwriter Macy Gray. Now, if you don't know who Macy Gray is, I kind of remembered her because she hit the radio waves back like late. What she got here? I'm looking at her Wikipedia page right in front of me. Her first album came out like 1999, 2001. Yeah, that's about when I remember her. And if you're about my age and you'll remember kind of Nickelodeon back when it was actually alright, she did the opening song for the cartoon As Told by Ginger. So she had some success, although I don't really follow her kind of music, which is like R&B, according to this, soul, jazz, whatever. That's not really my jam, so she kind of disappeared, at least off of my radar, after after like 2002. So looking at her Wikipedia page, just follows her, everything that she's done as a singer, sometimes actress. There wasn't too much notable about her, except in about 2007, she performed some kind of show in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and all of her band members wore clothes bearing political messages. That's not anything really too out of the ordinary, considering that a lot of these singers, entertainers in general, typically sell their souls for a lot of fame. Outside of that, in her other work that wasn't considered music, she sang the American national anthem as part of the Israeli flag-raising ceremony at the Israeli consulate of Los Angeles. That right there is a no-no. We don't want Israeli over here. Other than that, the only notable thing I found was in her personal life, she was married to a man named Tracy Hines. He was a mortgage broker. They were married for about 4 years and then divorced as her career was starting to take off, and they had 3 children. Now, Tracy Hines kind of didn't strike me right away as a Negro name, and a mortgage broker, not typically a Negro profession. That's usually either a white or a Jew. So when I tried to look him up, I really couldn't find anything on him. I guess he stays out of the limelight as best he can. But whenever I saw her with whenever the picture would say it was Tracy Hines, I found like 3 different men. It was always a white guy. So I'm assuming, based off of that information, that she was married to a white man and had 3 mulatto children with him. The sin of race mixing, that's a no-no. But these three reaction videos that I'm doing kind of have that similar theme. Always seems to be mulattoism in there. Always seems to be some kind of black-white mixture. And there always seems to be some kind of problem that they have with whites. Now, Macy Gray herself is rather light-skinned. She's not the super dark Negro, so she definitely has some obvious white admixture in there. So she could be easily classified as a light black or a mulatto. Also sometimes called high yellows. So with that in mind, again, there's not much interesting beyond any of that. I only happened across this video, not even, I'll typically watch YouTube on my my gaming console, And so when you have the main YouTube page up, if you scroll down, you'll find some kind of like new popular music, new popular movie trailers, whatever, whatever. And I came across this. It was said white man, and immediately it grabbed my attention as, wow, white man. It features a white woman and a black woman on the thumbnail, so it just caught my attention almost right away. Now, I haven't really watched it. I haven't really listened to the lyrics. I have watched it, though, just to see the imagery that you can get. Wow. The imagery is rather powerful for about a 3-minute music video. Like I said, I haven't listened to the lyrics, but when I looked up the song before I watched it, a couple of news sites that more appeal to blacks had the video up and were talking about it. And so there were some lyrics in there where Macy Gray says, she will whoop the white man if they try to oppress her or whatever it is. We'll listen to that as we do the video, and I'll critique it as we go along. So Macy Gray is kind of getting into this racket, and also the only other lyrics I saw were this whoop whoop whoop, and it's supposed to be the white man, and that she's not her grandmother from back in the day. So apparently Macy Gray is I don't know, if she's putting out a song like this, she must feel like she's somehow oppressed or marginalized, or that her people are in such dire straits that she needs to put this song out. Macy Gray, it should be noted, outside of having quite a long career, I mean, starting out in 1999, it's 2017 now. I mean, honestly, she's had, for the most part, I'd say she started off kind of slow. So I'd say she's had at least a good 15 years of rather continual success. She does all sorts of things. She's a philanthropist. She does all kinds of her own stuff. And looking here at her net worth, because I always love it when you have these crying blacks, these crying black celebrities, and yet they have these massive net worths. Her net worth is $20 million. That's more than I'll ever see in my life. That's more than I'll ever have tucked away. That's more than a lot of us will ever have tucked away. And yet she is going to be a champion of the so-called oppressed Negro peoples, and needs to give the white man a lesson and make us come face to face with our racist system. I always love that. Always love that. So that's pretty much it about Macy Gray. When it comes down to these reaction videos, I like to let you know some of the people behind it. You can kind of see some of the motives behind it when you take a look at the people. I know I watch some reaction videos and they don't really do it. They just kind of react to the content in front of them. But you really need a base to come from, at least as far as I'm concerned. And especially if you're a new white brother or sister, and you're not really aware, like I said in the last video, of how the Jews use the entertainment media to impress certain things upon people and to push forth certain messages that they want to have pushed forth. It's nice for you to have a base to come from so you can know who's behind it and why they might be behind it. Because one of the things I did note about Jordan Peele, Justin Simien, and Macy Gray here is if you look in their wikis here, I'll make sure to flash her stuff up on the screen and put a link in the description below. There's nothing ever that really kind of gives any hint at all that this would be something they do. But then that's the surprise. You think all is good, but then they come out and they kind of let you see their true selves. Macy Gray here, you get to see her true self as someone who wants to partake in black solidarity, in someone who feels she needs to reprimand the oppressive, racist white race, or the white man, I guess in particular. But with all of that being said, let us jump into the music video, and then I will see you after that with some parting thoughts. Sorry for the bad audio. If you have any advice, let me know. I'll give you details of what I'm dealing with. Disapproving white girl, doesn't want to see a black woman there, the imagery already. Walking towards each other in a conflictive posture.
Hey white man, I am not my grandmother. I'm from the city, Canton, Ohio. I'm just a lady, but I think like a man. You hating me and I don't understand. You judging me, you...
Okay, so let's stop right here. So we already started off the video, and this black woman was coming up through these clothes. And as soon as she comes upon the white woman looks upon her and immediately starts to cross her arms and gives her that look of, why are you here? What are you doing here? I don't want you here. And then now we get to, and then they were walking towards each other in a posture that could only be said to be hostile. And now we have this. The white woman was pushing the black woman back towards the edge of what would be the stage there. And now she's in her face, right up on her, and she has her hands on her hips. Her posture is completely hostile. There's nothing friendly about it. This woman, this white woman, is a representation of white supremacy, white oppressive racism. And the black woman here is the victim being pushed back and held down. Conflict, the struggle. Okay, I had to pause right there. So, wow. So here you have the black woman. She's just innocently standing there, right? But this white woman, this representation of the white race, she's there and she's just giving hell to this black woman, kicking her in the behind, pushing her, hitting her, whatever. And now we have Macy Gray's lyrics. She just kicked into this thing where if you try and do something to me, I'll kick your woo 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 woo. Your woo 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 woo. I.e., your ass. White man, if you try and keep her down, she'll kick your ass. They have good pop and lock choreography, though. Good dancers. Okay, so before we get into this thing in the back here, you have this pan onto the black woman's face, and now she's looking up. It's representative of her opening her eyes. We're kind of looking through her eyes at what she sees in the world. And you'll see in a moment images that are suggestive of the plight of black people under our so-called oppressive, racist white system.
You can best believe I matter. I'm offended by your chatter, but I'm living good on the edge of myself. I'll make a drink and I'll toast to my...
Okay, so right here we have the black woman pushing back. She's becoming aware of herself. She's becoming empowered, emboldened. And now she's pushing the white woman back. Now they're in the center of the stage. This has significance.
Let's come together. Let's make it better. Let's come together. Let's make it better.
Okay, so the center of the stage has significance because it's supposed to kind of give you an idea that they're going to meet on equal footing. And you have the choreographers dancing in a way that they're kind of trying to dance with each other. They're trying to dance in lock with each other without the hostility. But just before I froze it, they were kind of going to embrace hands, lock hands. But then they pointed their arms downwards, making sure that the lock wouldn't happen. So it's mostly a problem with the white girl, I'm sure is the message here, and that she's just not letting go of the racist system. She's not letting go of her white supremacy. Walking back from each other, a symbol that, again, they're not letting go. Or it's more the white person's fault, I'm sure. They're not letting go. They're not meeting as equals. white woman has a face of animosity and aggression on, and by the footwork you can see she's pushing the black woman back ever so slightly. I don't know what the hell's happening here. Interpretive dance, I don't get it sometimes, but I can only imagine it means conflict. The struggle. Conflict. So here we have the scene again. We're getting close to the black woman's face. We are going to see through her eyes again. You can just barely see the black woman's eyes in the background there. That's the white girl. And the white girl is wearing, I can only imagine, it has to be a goat head, a goat skull. Just because the horns are very particular. I mean, it could be some kind of steer or something like that. I'm not too up on my my taxonomy here, but the skull has a very significant representation. If you look at the skull, and you've seen imagery of Baphomet, which is it's just one of the many names that Lucifer, Halel, the devil, goes under. He has many names, and one of them is Baphomet, represented as the goat-headed god. Little g god, I should say. The father of the Jews. But by putting this Baphomet-type skull on this white woman, and since she's a representation of the white race, it's the white devil. This black woman sees whites as the devil, as the very personification of evil itself. Macy Gray sure as hell didn't pull out any punches with this one, but yeah, that one kind of shook me by surprise right there. I didn't expect to go from some otherwise pretty decent choreography to this. Let's come together. Now you'll notice for the rest of the choreography, the dance here, they're going to be pretty much centered right in the middle of the stage. And now Macy Gray has a message of unity, of coming together, and they're going to dance in a way that relinquishes all hostility between the characters and puts them in sync with each other, not just in a technical choreographic sense, but in a sort of interracial unity sense. The noble black woman. I don't know what the hell that is. A new day! We shall overcome! God save America! Unity! Okay. So this has some strong imagery right here too. Now, some people may say I'm looking into this deeper than I need to. Especially for a scene like this. You only have two dancers. One of them's got to be in the front for something like this, and one of them has to be in the back. True enough. But the message here goes deeper than just some song. The message here is 100% racial. It's admitted. It's 100% about race. So the messages here go a little bit deeper than just two people and one of them being the arm of the other. So the strong imagery here is you have the woman in the front, and she has a look on her face of distress, a look of regret, of a desire to repent of her racist ways. And to drive that image home, her one arm is behind her, and the black woman is providing her the other arm. Coming together. Racial tolerance, racial unity. And this white girl, she's not supposed to see race, because as the Jew will tell you, race doesn't exist. But if she does, she should always look at her left arm and see a black arm to remind her of racial unity. And perhaps to remind her always of the oppression that the poor black race has had to suffer at the hands of the white race. I'm sorry, I can't get rid of that. That's embedded in the video. I have annotations off. Arms going up. Solidarity. So the conflict was being taken away there, and now they're the white woman's in blackface and the black woman's in whiteface, and we're supposed to accept this message of interracial solidarity, of the white man relinquishing his ties to his racist past, letting go of his supremacy, and letting the non-white races, who are such wonderful benefits to us, have their fair shake. Now, it should be noted, now, excuse me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I phase out Macy Gray's lyrics. I believe she's in the chorus right now of I'll whip your woo-woo-woo-woo. I'll whip your woo-woo-woo-woo. So even though the choreographers are, in their story that they're telling us through their dance, coming together in a sort of interracial unity of a new dawn, Macy Gray's still singing, "White man, I will kick your ass." So to me, that's a little bit of a conflicting message, but I think ultimately I know what the actual message is. It's like, white man, we're coming for you. Your days are numbered, and the more you oppress us, the worse we're going to oppress you. Solidarity. All right, that was fun. So let's get into some afterthoughts. So here in the afterthoughts section, I really don't know what else to say that I haven't already kind of beaten to death already with Dear White People and Get Out. Because the video follows basically the same line as those two. So there's really nothing new for me to say. On some positive notes, number one, the technical aspects of this video were good, at least in my opinion. The backdrop was simple, but served its purpose. It didn't overpower, it added. It didn't take away, and it didn't try to didn't try to upstage in its own way the people in front. It was very simple, you could see it, but it just added without you having to pay attention to it. So good backdrop design. The choreographers. I thought the choreographers were damn good. I mean, they kind of got into the weird interpretive dance section where it's like, what the hell's going on? It looks like they're having a fit. But outside of that, I thought they were pretty good. And their pop and lock technique was awesome. I don't see a lot of pop and lock, but then again, I don't watch a lot of music videos like this. So, from my experience, they have some good pop and lock technique. If you need to hire choreographers for that kind of thing, I would personally recommend those two. So, positive aspects right there. Good backdrop design and awesome choreographers. As for Macy Gray herself, given her genre that she is in, which is like the R&B, soul, jazz, whatever, she has a good voice for her genre. I will say that. So, I mean, I honestly couldn't imagine her, like back in the day, back when I was a young man, her song I Try came out. I couldn't imagine that being sung by anybody else. She just has a distinctive enough voice for that. So, on technical aspects like that, I can't complain. And, that's just me being honest. I'm not going to bullshit you here. Outside of that, though, this is just anti-white garbage. Anti-white garbage. Now, it's not a surprise, and I've said this with Dear White People and Get Out, it's not a surprise this is making its way to the forefront because it's anti-white. And the Jews are all over that. And now that we've hit into an era where whites will feel more secure kind of speaking up, or at least standing up for themselves, even if just a little bit, the Jew has to get to work. And so they've got to shame white people in whatever way they can. And if not that, then whip the non-white masses into a frenzy of solidarity. So that way, either A, they can take action now under Trump, or B, they can wait till Trump's out of office, and God forbid we get Michelle Obama 2020. Well, that about spells our end right there. Before I head off here, though, I did find something funny. When I was looking at the video and I looked at the comment section was like almost 100%, oh, way to go, Macy. This is so needed right now, yada, yada, yada. But there was one commenter, and he's still in like the first page of comments, so I'm happy to see that. But he basically wished that a new Adolf Hitler would arise and create concentration camps to send all of these so-called oppressed people to, so that way they could learn what true oppression was. And I had seen that the other day when I was kind of looking ahead at this. And some people had commented on him, on his comment, actually. So that's the new picture I'm going to have up. And I just thought it was funny. Funny that somebody was just like, you know what, this is such BS. And as I say that, if the Get Out movie trailer, if you click that link and you look at the comment section, if you haven't already, I think it was towards the top. Now, mind you, this was like 4 days ago when I was kind of getting all this stuff together, so I don't know if it's dropped or not. But one person had left in the comment section how he had an idea for a horror movie in which a handicapped white person was kidnapped by a bunch of blacks who tortured him and streamed it live on Facebook. Awesome. I didn't see any other comments beyond that, but he got a few thumbs up, especially for me. So, yeah, check it out. Sometimes the comment sections for these things have some hidden treasures in there. But that will be it for my trio of reaction videos that I wanted to work on. As I said, while I was working on these, I was drawing up some ideas for new shows coming up. Before February goes out, I wanted to pay tribute to the black man and give you a couple black history facts that they don't want you to know. And I figure it's probably best to do that towards the end of the month because, you know, you as maybe a younger white brother or sister who's still maybe in high school or college have gotten your indoctrination of Black History Month. Maybe you're a parent who has to hear your kid parent off this Black History Month crap. Well, now that they've gotten themselves full of that, it's time to shatter those illusions with at least a few key Black History Month facts that they don't want you to know. Other things coming up will be things like I trying to compile a few sources for for white brothers and sisters who are new to the white identity movement, so that way you have places to go to or books to read that'll really help flesh you out, get you a good base of knowledge, as well as introduction to the Jewish question. Very important, very important. You've heard me harping on the Jew in these 3 reaction videos, and it's time to let you know why, at least for a beginner sense. Don't worry, the advanced and expert information, if I can't get it to you, I know a number of people who will get it to you. So those are at least 3 interesting things coming up, as well as some other things. So thank you for sticking with me through these reaction videos. I know they are not great, but to a degree, they were fun to do, and that's what makes some of this stuff interesting. If you have any anti-white things that you want me to react to because you think it's that interesting, let me know. Honestly, Get Out and White Man were completely by chance. The only one I probably would have harped on would have been Dear White People because Daily Stormer had an article about it. And as I saw today, which should be the 22nd, Daily Stormer actually finally had an article up on Get Out. I'm surprised it took them so long. It's going to release in 2 days, and the barrage of advertisements to be getting, they should have jumped on that way, way sooner. But anyway, thank you for sticking with me. If you have any critiques of how the reaction style goes, let me know. If you have any critiques on the technical style, let me know. I'm trying to work on all of that. And until the next video, I've been your boy Blue. Can you hear the call?